You know what's frustrating? You train hard, maybe harder than most people around you. You run, you work out, you push yourself, but somehow every match feels the same. Around minute 60, your legs get heavy, your reactions slow down. Simple passes start feeling difficult. You stop asking for the ball as much. Defending feels harder. Even your confidence drops. Meanwhile, there's another player on the pitch who still looks calm, still moving sharply, still thinking clearly. And you start wondering, how is he not tired yet? Most football players think this is just a fitness problem, but honestly, a lot of the time, it's not. Because football fatigue is different from normal fatigue, and that misunderstanding is exactly why so many players keep fading during matches, no matter how hard they train. Most people train stamina like football is a marathon, long runs, random cardio, endless conditioning. But football isn't steady movement. Football is constant acceleration and deceleration, constant scanning, constant reacting, constant decision-making under pressure. That drains your body differently, and more importantly, it drains your brain. This is something most players never realize. Your brain affects your stamina way more than you think. For example, players who panic get tired faster. Players who hesitate get tired faster. Players who react late get tired faster, because every late reaction forces emergency movement. Now you're sprinting to recover position, sprinting to close space, sprinting because you didn't see danger early enough. And after doing that over and over again, your body crashes. That's why some players look exhausted even when they're technically fit. It's not always bad conditioning. Sometimes they're just playing chaotic football. Think about the players who always look calm. They scan early. They move early. They already know where pressure is coming from before they receive the ball. That changes everything, because early information saves energy. Late reactions destroy it. A player who constantly scans doesn't need to panic, and panic is exhausting. That's why confident players often look fitter than nervous players. Not necessarily because they have better lungs, but because they waste less energy mentally and physically. And then there's positioning. This is another massive reason players die physically during games. Most players run too much for no reason, not because they work harder, because their positioning forces them into unnecessary sprints. Watch inexperienced players carefully. They're always chasing the game, always recovering, always fixing mistakes after they happen. But smarter players adjust early, small movements, better angles, better awareness, which means they rarely need desperate recovery runs. And over 90 minutes, that difference becomes huge. Football punishes inefficient movement. The more unnecessary movement you make early in matches, the more your body collapses later. And honestly, emotional fatigue is part of this too. Nobody talks about this enough. Stress drains stamina. Fear drains stamina. Overthinking drains stamina. You can literally see it in some players. Their body is tense the entire match. Every mistake affects them emotionally. They rush decisions, rush touches, rush passes, and mentally, they never relax. That becomes exhausting. Meanwhile, calm players recover during the game itself. Their breathing stays controlled. Their mind stays clear. They simplify the game. And that saves energy. A lot of players think the solution is simply training harder. More running, more conditioning, more punishment. But if your movement is inefficient, if your positioning is poor, if your decision-making is late, you'll still fade during matches. Because football stamina is not just physical endurance. It's efficient football. The players who last longest are usually not the players working hardest every second. They're the players wasting the least energy. That's a huge difference. So how do you actually improve this? First, scan earlier. Earlier information changes everything. The earlier you understand the situation, the calmer you become. Second, stop sprinting emotionally. Not every moment needs maximum intensity. A lot of players waste energy because they treat every situation like a crisis. Third, improve your positioning. Good positioning saves stamina constantly throughout matches. Fourth, train decision-making while tired. Most players only train physically tired, but football also requires mental clarity under fatigue. And finally, simplify your game late in matches. The best players don't force difficult actions when tired. They become cleaner, smarter, more efficient. That's real match intelligence. So if you always feel exhausted by minute 60, don't immediately assume you're unfit. Sometimes you're simply wasting too much energy, mentally, emotionally, positionally. And honestly, that's good news, because those things are trainable. The moment you stop treating football like pure running, you start understanding the game differently. And suddenly, lasting 90 minutes doesn't feel impossible anymore.